I'm going to lose my housing. All because the guidelines for Section 8 have changed since you-know-who got into office. I have to depend on the government to help pave my way.
Are you serious? Get a fucking job.
I'm not laughing at what he said. I'm laughing at this setup. The Make America Great Again hat with the American flag in the background. That's the ultimate combo, dude. God damn, brother. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
They're saying that if you have a child that is school aged, meaning if you don't have to stay home with your child, you have to be able to obtain employment, have a full-time job, and you cannot be on Section 8 past 2 years.
The fact that people don't want to better themselves is just ridiculous. Your child doesn't need you at home at all times anymore. If you're gonna let your 2 years expire without going to get a fucking job, that is your problem. You want to be stuck on goddamn EBT for the rest of your life? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Actually, there's a lot of people that they do. They really do. We didn't really go in depth with this. I was on a previous episode. I don't really talk about this, but since the cat's out of the bag, technically I have a condition that I don't even take care of. The condition I have is called common variable immunodeficiency. Okay, there you go. I had to make a wish when I was 17. You know what that is? If you don't, whatever. Basically, if you die, you get one of these. If you're about to die, you get one of these. So technically, with this condition, I could be on disability for the rest of my life. EBT, the whole nine. Forever. And the truth is there's a lot of people that would do it. They would do it. I get where he's coming from. I'd rather figure out how to make more money and not worry about the government. I never had EBT. Thank God. I've never had to. But I'm just saying, a lot of people actually would just do that. That's the funniest part. I think about that. I go, how many people, if they had what I had, how many people would milk the fuck out of that and just not even try? I don't even have health insurance. Technically, I'm supposed to be getting some kind of expensive dose every 2 months, and they said if I didn't take it, I would die. It's been 10 years. I'm not dead. You know what I mean? But that's something a lot of people would use as some kind of a handicap or a crutch. Maybe I can get handicap parking. We got to look into that. I'm just kidding. Anyways, and I didn't vote, so you can't blame this shit on me.
The government is pretty much your baby daddy.
No.
You know? You know you're going to get that check every single month. You know it's going to hit every single month, so you don't have to stress about it.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is what we are all talking about.
Now, you know what I'm talking about? This is something I want to point out real fast. Just in case you're just watching in your car, something that I always notice. This is always kind of one of the same things over and over again. You see the giant hand tattoo? We call that a job stopper. Maybe not nowadays, but for the most part, anybody, when you got a hand tattoo like that, you're committed. Like, that's next level. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It's body art. Okay. No. How about that? But it's always, my point is it's always some kind of, like, neck tattoos, chest right here. Like a chest tattoo on a man, no big deal. But on a woman, it's always like, it's a little rough. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to the ladies. I just wanted to point that out with the tattoos and stuff. You know? It's kind of like, is it fuck society, or are you going to play along? That's kind of where I'm getting at. You know, people with tattoos like that. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Alright, the comment section's probably going to be the same as always. Free ride is over, loser. I'm just kidding. They then obtain employment. It's assistance, not a lifestyle. But that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people do that. It's real. It's all too real. And I love talking about it. I think it's a good time. This one goes, I was on Section 8 for 6 years after I got divorced. Went back to college, got a degree, and a good job. Now I'm on my own. That's how it's supposed to work. Yeah, that makes sense. You never hear that, you know? You never hear that kind of a comeback story, you know? Americans love a good comeback story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They love, you know that? It's a classic. I had nothing. Parents, poor, poverty. My uncle was gay. The whole nine. It's the same story every time. But people like that, right?
We like rooting for the underdog.
Exactly. It wasn't like that for me. I had two parents who loved me, grew up in a townhome, middle class. I had a bowl cut, and, you know, never had issue with money until I was older, until I was 19, 20. That's when my parents lost everything. But I had every advantage in the world, you know, and I still made it. My parents are dead. All right, here we go. You have 2 years to get ready. Yeah, that's the best, though. She's bitching about it now, but that's where I'm getting at. A lot of people have no intention. Remember the hand tattoo, okay? I'm not making fun of her hand tattoo. I'm just saying. There's a certain kind of person out there. They're not playing ball. People get neck tattoos, face-to-face tattoos. They're definitely not playing ball. But I don't know why I keep bringing up the hand tattoo. But this is right here. This Section 8 for 6 years, went to college, got a degree, home on my own now. Right? That's how it's supposed to.
Yeah, I gotta say, he's absolutely right. You know, it was actually like standard practice that back in the day that you did not get a tattoo anywhere below like the elbow. You needed to be able to cover up your tattoos with a shirt. And yeah, and you know, it was different, and the idea was like he's saying, it's because like when you get tattoos starting it on your forearm, your hand, your face, stuff like that, it's like you're not into playing by the rules of society. You're like, F society. No, I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and that's the dangerous part, and that's kind of what he's getting at, I think.
To work. I don't think most people are using it for that. Honestly, what Nestor, look this up before we'll couple more comments. But what is the average? How long does the average person stay on Section 8? See if you can find that information. I want to end on that
6
note.
years.
I wouldn't doubt it if it's an absurdly long amount of time. I mean, you hear about people passing it down from generation to generation, like a mom's about to die, leaves the voucher to her daughter. That's a real thing. She could take a government-funded... Okay. She's already taken...
But you shouldn't be looking at the average. You should look at what is the longest people stay on Section 8. That will actually tell you more like what you're looking for, because the normal person that uses it the way it's supposed to be used, they're going to tip the scales. And the people that are on it forever... because when you get the average, you're taking the highest numbers and the lowest and averaging them out. So you're going to have a lot more probably of the lower numbers, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years. And those averaged out with the 20 years, it just kind of messes up the number that you're looking for.
Taking government-funded stuff. Just take more of it. They absolutely are serious. I saw this woman bitching on here because she gets $2,000 a month in food stamps in the past 7 years. Now is expected to do 15 hours a week of community service or lose her benefits. Community service. Do 15 hours a week for a job. At least make some money. Those programs are meant for you to get on your feet. All right. You got any info?
It says 5.8 years is the average, according to Google.
5.8 years?
Yeah.
Damn.
With the median of 3 years.
Okay. So 3 years is like average. That's not bad, though. That's not bad at all. All right, last comment. I was a single mom putting myself through college full time. This is the classic story, though, you know?
Like I said, though, that's the average and the median and stuff does not tell you all the maximums. It doesn't tell you the maximums. There could be people that are on it for a month, and then boom, they're off of it. You know, that messes up the numbers too.
Had 2 kids in daycare, worked full-time as a server at Chili's, had a 2-bedroom apartment, all my bills and rent were paid on time, never once been on Section 8. First of all, I wouldn't even know how to get on Section 8 if I wanted to. I did this with my dad to get him into a nursing home, in a government nursing home, but he had dementia, and that was a nightmare. That took almost 2 years to pull that off. And he had a serious problem. It was dire. Like, I had to call family services to come to my house. I mean, talking investigations went down. Like, I feel like it takes a tremendous amount of... There's some level of weird effort that goes into...
It's like, it would be easier to get a job.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it would be harder, and I hate bringing up the fact that I could be on disability. I don't mean to sound like that. I'm just saying, I feel like it would be more difficult for me to go and try and go that route, even though I can, than to just hustle and grind and bustle. Kurt Russell from downtown. Anyway, Section 8. I love talking about it. You guys leave your thoughts. And, I honestly think we should give them, personally, just me, I think we should be giving them more. Honestly. I think any single mother on Section 8 should be driving a BMW. 3-bedroom house with a pool. If they don't have a pool, that is not quality of life. And a 2-car garage, minimum.
Yep.
That's just me personally. And at least one, bare minimum, 1 European vacation a year. That's just me, though. But unfortunately, I don't write the rules. And I didn't vote for Trump. So maybe if I, voted for the other guy, you would get all those things I just said. Hell of a talk.
In 2 years.
He's actually right. Kamala... Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be like European vacations and stuff, but you never know. It's like the way they were going is like, no, poor people, we need to take care of them completely. And it's like, no, they're only poor because they don't want to work. It's ridiculous. I've seen people 2,000, 6,000, food stamps per month. I'm like, what do you need that much for? That's just insane. It turns out they got like 9 kids. It's like, whoa. How are you on government assistance and keep having kids? That's something that needs to be fixed.
Here is the latest update on the Section 8 2-year time limit proposal and how it is being affected by the government, who's really literally dragging their feet. The deadline is September 30th. Let's get into it. So what's happening right now? Congress has not passed the FY 2026 budget yet, and the government is still on track to shut down at midnight September 30th unless the deal is reached. The Trump administration's for FY 2026 budget proposal includes a 2-year time limit on Section 8 and other federal housing programs for able-bodied adults. Elderly and disabled tenants would be exempt. This proposal is not yet a law. It's part of the budget bill that still needs to be passed by Congress. What the proposal will do, if passed: cap Section 8 assistance at 2 years for most adults, replace federal vouchers with state block grants, giving states control over rental assistance programs. I'm going to say that again. Replace federal vouchers with state-run block grants, giving states control over rental assistance programs. Impose work requirements, which we know 20 plus hours a week for able-bodied adults under 62. Demand citizenship verification from all public housing authorities, which we know that is happening now, which that's going to wrap up. And what's going to be the impacts of the government shutdown? If Congress doesn't pass the budget or continue with a resolution, HUD will operate with a skeleton staff. New Section 8 applications, renewals, and funding could be delayed or paused. Expiring contracts like PBRA and HAP agreements may not be renewed if the shutdown shutdown lasts more than 30 years. So if you're in the shelter and you're getting a Section 8 voucher, or you got called off the waiting list, or you have a transfer, anything that you have to do from a Section 8 perspective is going to be paused and nothing is going to be done. So it is insane. They're really trying to kick people off Section 8 after 2 years, even if they're working and they still can't afford rent. Trump's budget wants states to decide who gets help housing the most states. And most states don't care about poor people. Let's face it, most states do not care about poor people. It's just really, really ridiculous. And I hope that you guys take this seriously. That's why I say, like, pay your portion, don't fuck up. Section 8 is a blessing. You know, if Congress don't act by September 30th, HUD shuts down. No renewals, no vouchers. Serious. Here is the latest.
I rent a room. Okay, I rent from family, but I rent a room just because it's all I can afford. I can't afford a one-bedroom apartment, just over here across the street from me, or not across the street, across the park. Like a couple of years ago, I was looking once again. I check it out every once in a while. They were like $2,400 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. And this isn't even a nice one-bedroom apartment. This is just like, bare minimum one-bedroom apartment. And it's like, I mean, I could afford it, but there'd be like almost nothing left out of my paycheck after that, So it's kind of crazy. And it's funny, too, because the government is shut down now. It's October 8th right now, and the government's been shut down. Democrats, for all their saying they care about the people and stuff, they're not caring about Section 8 and all that stuff. But, so my point about the apartment, and I rent a room, I've seen people on Section 8 having these big, huge houses, 3-bedroom houses, and they're driving a BMW. Or they have a 3-bedroom house. Okay, they don't drive a great car, but they still have a new car. How are they making car payments if they're not working? All this stuff. I saw a lady that like moved to a different state, took her Section 8 housing voucher with her, and now she has this giant house that's like brand spanking new that I could never even dream of living in, until I level up some more. It's just crazy. I'm sitting here struggling, trying to level up, and all these people are just being handed stuff just because they have kids and because, they say, oh, I'm poor, and the government tries to help them out. It's crazy. It's just absolutely insane. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for coming to the Rash Review. I'll see you next time.